So that moves us into our next tool that I want to talk about, which is nervous system stuff, because shame puts us in that freeze state. I don't know how familiar people are with nervous system regulation, so I'll give just like a very quick overview. So we have the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system is your rest and digest system. So that's when you are relaxed, your body feels safe, everything's kind of functioning the way that it is when it is optimal. The sympathetic nervous system is what kicks in when something feels off, when your system is feeling like you might be in danger, something's wrong. So that is where we get the fight or flight reactions. The two lesser known ones are freeze and fawn. Freeze is where you land when you are experiencing shame, right? Shame stops us in our tracks. It keeps us still and small and hiding. But there are things that you can do to regulate your nervous system when you are experiencing shame to signal to your body, hey, I'm safe. Like, I'm not actually in any danger. I can move, right? We can move through this and out of it. The way to do that is not to try to force it, right? That will just put you further into that state. It makes it worse. But there are like physical things that you can do with your body to help you feel more regulated. And some of them are kind of weird. So let's talk about it. So nervous system regulation, right? This is a way to get us back to that baseline, to hopefully move us back into that parasympathetic state where like all of our, prefrontal cortex comes back online and we can think more logically and approach things from a less activated place. So cold exposure is really good if you are in a freeze state. Hold an ice cube in your hand, splash some cold water in your face, dunk your head in a bucket of ice water, right? All of these things will kind of shock your system enough to get you out of that freeze state. Smells and tastes can be really powerful. They get you swallowing, they activate your vagus nerve, they signal again to your body, if I am safe enough to be biting into a slice of lemon or eating a piece of sour candy, for example, or smelling this aromatherapy essential oil, I must not be in actual like grave danger right now. So those things, again, get your body kind of back to baseline. Deep pressure is also really good. Have somebody give you a really big hug, right? I do this to my husband a lot. If I am feeling really like activated or panicky, I'll go into his office and just be like, hey, I need a hug. It's great, right? You're co-regulating with someone else so it can get you back to that baseline state. If you don't have access to somebody who can give you a big hug, a weighted blanket can be really good. I have a big weighted hoodie that I will wear. Those are, tools like that are great. And then body movements and sounds can be really helpful. So like gently rocking back and forth, really, really good for your nervous system, right? Signaling, hey, I'm safe, nothing's wrong, I don't need to flee, we can move a little bit. Doing a little bit of yoga, right? Like child's pose on the floor, just pop into a comfortable position for a few minutes, take some deep breaths, your nervous system will start to regulate. Even something like humming can be really, really powerful for getting you out of that sympathetic nervous system response and back into the parasympathetic. So this is something to practice, right? It doesn't always feel like it's working right off the bat. It can take a little time. Something a little more shocking, like cold water on your face, can work a little faster than like humming sometimes. But your body will just react differently. So that's why I went through like a bunch of things. These are all tools that you can have in your back pocket. When you start to feel that sticky shame feeling of like, when you feel your body doing one of these, and like you want to hide, something needs to shrink, you're feeling really small, that's a signal that you're going into that freeze state and you need something to bring yourself back out of it. So those are all things to try, and having something consistent, right? That's a ritual. It becomes more automatic then, because when you're in that state, it's very hard to access those tools consciously. So the more you practice that, and the more you practice it when you are not actively experiencing that feeling of overwhelm and that shame, the more accessible it will be in that moment. All of these things, very, very good for the nervous system. Get out of that sympathetic state and back into the parasympathetic using one of those tools. Get into your body. Remind yourself that you are so safe, right? You are a safe container for your creativity.